In this video, we're going to look at the relationships and equivalent measurements within the metric and U.S. customary systems. First, let's talk about length. When we measure length, we are measuring how long something is, such as the distance from one location to another. We can measure the length using the U.S. customary system or the metric system. Pause the video and take a moment to look at the different measurements. Now, what did you notice? First, the base for length is meter. Next, the metric system works in powers of 10. For example, there's 10 milliliters in 1 centimeter. But then if we take 1 centimeter times 10, we have 10 centimeters that equals 1 decimeter. This makes it really easy to convert within the metric system. The customary system does not work in powers of 10. You need to know the conversion factors to move from one unit to the next. There are conversion factors to go from one system to the other. Some of them include 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters, 1 yard is 0.914 meters, and 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. Let's look at converting from the customary system to the metric system and vice versa. This first question says that you measure a pencil to be 4 inches. Estimate how many centimeters this would be. Notice the word estimation. An estimation answer means good enough. It doesn't need to be exact, it just needs to be an approximation. When I solve these, I like to set up proportions. The first step is to look at the conversion factor. We're going from inches to centimeters, so find the conversion factor that goes with inches and centimeters. That's 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. The first step is to write the conversion factor as a fraction. Notice that I put 2.5. That's because this question said that we could estimate. So I rounded 2.54 to 2.5. Now we have to set up the other side. Since inches is in the numerator on the left-hand side, it must be the numerator on the right-hand side of my proportion. Since centimeters is in the denominator on the left-hand side, it must be on the right-hand side as well. Now we can plug in what we know. We know 4 inches, and we're looking for how many centimeters that is. When you solve these, you can cross multiply. That means that we have 4 times 2.5 equals 1 times x, which is just x. So we need to take 4 times 2.5. That's 10. So we know a good estimation is about 10 centimeters. Now pause the video and try the second one on your own. When you solve this, you should have gotten about 3 yards. Now let's talk about weight. When we measure weight, we're talking about the heaviness of an object, such as the weight of a baby. Pause the video and take a moment to look at the different measurements. Now, what did you notice? Well, just like length, the metric system works in powers of 10. The base, though, for weight is grams instead of meters. If you notice, the last part of each unit changed to grams. Just like with length, the customary system does not work in powers of 10. You have to know the conversion factors to go from one unit to the next. Now, to go from the customary system to the metric and vice versa, we have some conversion factors that help us go from one system to the next. 2 of the main conversions are 1 ounce equals 28.350 grams and 1 pound equals 454 grams. We have a question at the bottom. It says you have a ball that weighs 5 ounces and it wants us to estimate how many grams this would be. The key word there is estimation. So just as in the other problems, we can round our conversion factors. Go ahead and pause the video and try this one on your own. Now let's see how you did. The first step is to look and see what conversion factor we need. We have ounces and grams, so we can use the 1 ounce equals 28.350 grams. I'm not sure what you rounded to, but I'm going to round 28.350 grams to 30 grams. Now put the labels in the correct spot on the right-hand side. Now we have the 5 ounces, so I can plug that into the numerator, and we're looking for how many grams, so I'm going to put a variable there. Now we can cross multiply. We have 5 times 30 is going to equal 1 times x, which is just x. 5 times 30 is 150. So 5 ounces is about 150 grams. Now let's talk about the last measurement, volume. When you measure volume, you are measuring the capacity of something, such as how much water fills a tank. Pause the video and take a moment to look at the different measurements. If you notice that it still works in powers of 10 for volume in the metric system, You're correct. The base unit is liters. So just like in the other measurements, only the end of our units changed, and it changed to liters. In the customary system, it does not work in powers of 10, so you must know those conversion factors to go from one unit to another. Now to convert from customary system to the metric and vice versa, we have some common conversions that we can use. Take a moment to look at those conversions. The question at the bottom says that a glass of water has 8 fluid ounces in it. Estimate how many milliliters this would be. Again, the key word here is estimation. We don't need an exact answer, so we can round within our conversion factor. Go ahead and pause the video and try this one on your own. When you set up your proportion and solve, you should have gotten about 240 milliliters.